and I did it again. I've blown that punchline twice now. There's never a morning without a really great technical gaffe. Welcome. Yesterday's most terrible idea. It's very exciting. We were talking about what to do in a COVID world where stadia, large venues for like sporting events and stuff, have to kind of close up. They can't do it. So they're trying to figure out how do we do different things that allow for social distancing and maybe a different way to generate revenue. And so we have all kinds of ideas, but the big one that's actually going to carry us into our Speed Swirl this morning came from Magical Trevor 2. Second day in a row for most terrible idea. Congratulations, Magical Trevor 2. Nice work. Was Black Friday 2020, and we're calling it the Arena Battle Edition. And so we the thought came out, let's get all of those Black Friday shoppers into a giant stadium and see what happens. And I don't want to elaborate any further because that's what we're going to do on the Speed Swirl this morning. And as I promised yesterday, I'm joined by future scientist at Support Sidecar, Andy Gasper. Hey, Andy, how you doing, buddy?
Hello, good morning, everyone.
It's great to have you here.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think your mustache has actually increased in volume since the last time we saw you. Is that something that happens? It just starts to kind of flourish?
Yeah. It's it's mustache season, isn't it? Movember.
Oh, that's right. It is mustache season.
Yeah. You should try one.
Well, here we are, Andy. Magical Trevor 2 just hit on something really special yesterday. And so we've got Scott Holtzman is joining us from far away. Welcome. We've got Jaco, Thoughtworst, Matthias, all in the stream, and many others. We're going to get right down to it. Andy, we talked about Black Friday 2020 in a stadium. One of the ideas that got thrown out was, what if the retailers bring the merchandise and just put it right in the center of like the Thunderdome? What popped to mind for you yesterday? And then folks, right there in the chat, let's start getting these ideas rolling. We're looking for terrible ideas to bring Black Friday 2020 Arena Battle Edition to life.
I love this. As someone who has worked retail before, I would love to see the employees, get to be in this as well.
Okay, so there's definitely an employee role to play in the Black Friday 2020 Arena Battle. You worked in heavy duty retail, especially during the holiday season. So this is something that's probably pretty close to your life, right, Andy?
Oh yeah. I guess I'll say it. I worked at an Apple store, and I feel like it.
Here we go.
Me,
Shut the stream down.
Love to rumbles.
I bet and I always wondered why they put them in those athletic branded T-shirts. It's so they could maneuver more quickly. We've got a demolition derby element. Good morning, Shepherd Josh. Demolition derby. So that's interesting. Would you do that maybe with like motorized shopping carts, like a motorized shopping cart demolition derby?
Yeah,
might be interesting.
I like the 40 aisle dash. This is like the before the event, so you can kind of get you maybe draft a fantasy league for your arena team, so you can see what their stats are.
Yeah, that's right. You could actually have like a compound, right, where you could see, you get all the best shoppers in there just to kind of train. So pre-draft, you can kind of see who you want to put on your team. Would you have teams? That's an interesting question. Would you?
Well, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, you should at the door you get a penny.
Okay.
And you put on the penny, and then you kind of have a team that you can work with. So you don't small teams. You don't want to grab the item out of someone's hand.
I started drawing a penny. I still haven't learned my lesson from. Sweet Emily Squirrel. So it's a penny. It's a penny. It's a penny. So it would be like a sweaty, disgusting temporary jersey. Pennies at the door. Okay, and then you just get like your shirts or skins. You come in and it's time to go, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Okay, Dave on base 32, good morning and welcome in. Employees kick off Furbies or whatever from one end of the field, awaiting customers receive and try to run it back. That's interesting. So you take the hottest item of the season and you launch it to the other end of the end zone, a la like a kickoff. And then you just see the mayhem ensues from there. That's interesting.
I would like the, like, what is it, like the XFL rules where there's no fair catch on that. You can't call off the defenders and go for the fair catch. You're gonna
Yeah, there
you
is
gotta
no fair
catch that
catch.
thing. Right, yeah.
Everything is
Up
possible
for
on the field.
grabs.
That's great.
Like bridesmaids for a bouquet of flowers, you know.
Yes.
It's
Yep. Okay, I like that. We've got some more coming in here, and of course, Andy, I know you're watching the stream. What are you seeing
Yep.
that's
If
popping up?
we had Scott Holtzman, if the Skins win, if they get shirts.
If the Skins win, they get shirts, right? But otherwise, you're going home.
Right,
You're
no
going home Skins. You're going home Skins if you lose. Okay. The clock keeps adding time. That's interesting. It never ends. Gee whiz-mo. Yeah, why let it end? Let's just keep adding up. And maybe actually the discounts go down as the time increases. That's interesting.
Well, like this case of Matthias with you can only buy something if no one notices you in the store. Like very like they're like the stealth guy in
Yeah.
the arena warrior.
That's interesting. There's a stealth element. You know, you could have sort of like Quidditch type rules, right? Where all of the chaos is happening, but if you can get that one little thing over the line, you catch the Furby and you can make it to the cash register, then you win the whole tournament. Is kind of interesting. It's employees versus customers, but all the employees are pro wrestlers. So we actually just and maybe what you do is it's a 5-to-1 kind of ratio. So 5 customers to 1 employee, but the employee is an absolutely super juiced pro wrestler.
Based on my experience, the 5-to-1, it's more naturally like 10-to-1
Okay.
odds on
Okay, so let's do a 10
customers
to 1 ratio.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Let's see. We've got yeah, who will finally end the Karen dynasty? Only you can find out if you join us at the Black Friday 2020 Arena Battle Edition. All right, great job, everybody.
Like we have one more from Case. The cash register is hidden in the gulag.
Yep, you got to get in there.
Is
and then Holtzman with one final thought there. The snitch is an 80-inch 3D TV. Yep, going back to 2016's greatest gifts, the 3D TV. All right, let's thanks everybody. We're going to pop over here. Andy, I'll be right back to you in just a sec, because what I want to do is just remind you guys how we ended up where we are today. Great job, Magical Trevor. I really, really appreciate you coming in and nailing it 2 days in a row with yesterday's most terrible idea. It was really fantastic. And remember, folks, we're just kind of playing around. If you have more terrible ideas, actually, if something comes into the stream and we just didn't get a chance to mention it, or you've got some thoughts that happen later on, hit us on Twitter at Imagivate. And we're kind of looking for things like, is it terrible? Ask the community, ask the Imagivate community, and maybe we'll add it to the show. I told you yesterday, I'm so glad to have Andy Gasper on. Andy is one of the co-founders of a comedy troupe called Future Science, and they've been in operation, I think, and Andy will give us all of the real details, since 2014. So they've been around the block. And what's really interesting, we shared this yesterday and teased what we're going to be doing today. Somebody, and it was just this week, I believe, just this week, discovered that there has been a misappropriation of the Future Science brand identity. You can see this sort of reuse of the logo, maybe redrawn, and then the use of the name. Now, Andy and I, Andy, I'm going to come back to you. So you guys, talk me through this really quickly. You guys found this out. Give us a little bit of the history of Future Science. I know you've got this logo is in pretty heavy use. It's a pretty valuable asset for you guys on the Future Science team.
Yeah, Future Science started 2014. My good buddy David Wilson designed us this logo, and it is literally, you cannot look in a corner of my house without seeing this logo. We to say that we aren't using it would be crazy. We have like Future Science the mug. We have Future Science the playing cards. We have Future Science a lighter. For the children, we have Future Science, the plushie toy.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
It's we have we have we have Future Science, the T-shirts.
Still coming.
There's millions of other things all throughout my entire apartment as well. And
Andy, if we do get a yesterday's most terrible idea out of this, is there some merch, some Future Science merch that we can send to the winner tomorrow? I guess that's the big question. Everybody's going to be hankering for that T-shirt probably.
You know what? Absolutely. Because they when you're in a band or apparently a sketch group, everyone's always like, man, you guys should sell T-shirts. I'd love a T-shirt. And then you go out and spend a bunch of money on getting T-shirts printed, and then you bring them, and all your friends are like, "Oh, that's so cool. Can I just have one for free?"
It's either,
and then you end up with a box
Uber
of 200 T-shirts.
Yeah, and Kay Matthias is asking, do you ship to Belgium? I guess that's something that we'll have to work out internationally.
I would totally be willing to do that.
In fact, speaking of international trade law, we're now faced with a dilemma. So you've got this brand identity. You guys have been in full tilt for over 6 years, and somebody is Googling around out on the internet and discovers something alarming.
Yes. So one of my fellow future scientists, Logan Lautzenheiser, was on LinkedIn just checking our future science page for any interested people, as any sketch group should be on LinkedIn. And he got notifications about future science, and he's like, "Oh, that's cool. We're getting traction from somewhere." And he checks the website, and he's like, "Oh, it's this group in Turkey that also calls themselves Future Science. That's interesting." So he sent us like a screenshot of the webpage, and then he goes, "Hold on, zoom in and look at the logo. Oh my God, they stole the logo!" And so we were like, "Well, we got to do something about this."
Good, and that's what we're doing here. That's why
do something about this.
You immediately called the Imagivate live hotline.
Yes.
And that's only accessible to certain community members. You have to be a subscriber, and you have to be a tier 2 subscriber. But you got on the Imagivate live hotline. You sent me this thing. We were called. Yep, I was just about to say thought worst. It said, remember when the Big Fat Brain site got co-opted by a penis pill company? That is true. We had a Webby nominated website that was all done in Flash. This is way back in the day, and somebody downloaded all of the Flash Swift files and decompiled them and rebuilt the Big Fat Institute for Advanced Interactive Experiences website. And that's the truth. And so it's a terrible feeling, right, Andy? I mean, because and all jokes aside, right, you guys see this thing. It's something that's really obviously very meaningful to you. Appropriated by somebody else, and so that's what we're here to do. We're here to get Revengdnesday on the first Revengdnesday of November, and so let's head over to the Imagivate screen, and so we want to figure out terrible ideas that can help us figure out how to either stop this or exact revenge, or maybe get what's coming to you. I know that I asked some of my attorney friends to join the stream. Welcome, guys. I did finish the disclaimer copies. I'll send all that stuff to you guys later. Okay, get off my back, and stop charging me for a sixth of an hour. I don't know how you guys do that, but we know that we're going to get into some dicey territory here. Terrible ideas are only really terrible if you are potentially burgeoning into litigious territory. And so, Andy, you could send a cease and desist letter, right? I mean, that's the first thing that kind of popped to mind. Somebody on your team was like, "Hey, what do we do? Cease and desist." What are some terrible ideas for the cease and desist letter? And be sure in the chat, just start flooding them in, because I have a feeling we're going to get to some really, really hot and spicy stuff today.
Well, it's actually, come to think of it, I forgot that Future Science has a lawyer. His name is, I think it was either Richard Butt, I think was his name. And he said, and his tagline, he has a tagline that was, don't take it in the butt in court. Take take butt to court. So we could actually draft up some letterhead from our. This was from a sketch we did.
Okay.
he was, and we could actually have him draft a letter from Richard Butt and send it to these people.
Okay, yeah, Richard Butt is just so I fully understand. This is a fictional character. You are not currently working with someone named. Okay, good. Okay, so we could use a fictional attorney. This could all be completely fictionalized as we send a cease and desist letter. Okay, Shepherd Josh says a custom created box of cereal called cease and desisties, and the letter is the prize at the bottom of the box. So send them a delicious box of cease and desisties, the right way to start your morning. This is in Turkey, by the way, too, right? This is in
as far as we can
website
tell,
is Turkish.
Turkey.
Yep. Cease and desisties, and then at the bottom of the box is the prize, which is the letter, the cease and desist letter. Okay, I like that. That's a really good one.
I like this. We have Scott Holtzman with a cease and desist singing telegram. So we just have to send someone to Turkey. Or maybe there's a Turkish person we could hire to do this.
Yep, he's just singing telegram. I don't know. They have the little hat. Maybe they don't do that in Turkey. Actually, that looks like a Turkish hat, right?
I
bet they have singing telegrams. I bet that's where they were originated in Turkey. If anybody's from Turkey in the stream, let us know. Singing telegram could be a really great way to do it, because then it feels like, oh, maybe these guys aren't gonna really sue me. You know what? They're good enough. Maybe we should just take it down.
Yeah. Like, we could write an original song for them too. Perhaps that's something we might be fun to do.
Okay. Yeah. With an original song. Hey, Lugis, thanks for following. So glad to have you as an Imagivator. It's awesome to get new folks into the stream. Be sure to chime in. We've got a lot of really great stuff here. Thought we're going back a bit. Do a future science show about the future of armed cease and desist drones. Okay. So, so send maybe a video of you guys doing this live show. And at the end, it's like, these are real. These armed cease and desist drones are real, and they're coming for you. Cease and desist, or else.
Yes, I love it. I want a big drone like that one from RoboCop 2. It comes in with the big arms and is like, put down the gun, put down the logo.
Yep.
Disarm the logo now.
A threatening 80s robot will turn anybody to the right side of the law. Let's see. We've got cease and desist wrapped in dead fish or destroyed robot. Ooh, destroyed robot.
You like the robot parts.
Yeah, like a big bloody robot horse head. Under the covers, and then one of those
just all oily and stuff.
They wake up, and there's oil all over the bed, all over their feet. Yeah. Matthias, okay, here we go. I love when we start to get into these long walk for a ham sandwich ideas. Marry the person you want to send one, and when you actually say, yes, I do, you read the letter aloud right in front of everybody in the wedding ceremony. That will show them. Great job, Matthias. You just have to gain their confidence over a series of months, maybe even years, before you can pull that off. But I really love the thinking behind that. What else do you see in the chat there, Andy?
I love a long con like that too. Let's see here. We have make a future science QAnon comedy group, and then force the company to distance themselves from their harmful brand.
Oh, that's great. Where'd that come from? Who's that?
That was Scott Holtzman.
Okay, great.
Which I love on that is because they clearly just saw the picture of our Future Science logo and then didn't read a single other thing about us.
Yep, that's right.
Because there's no way they would have ever wanted to associate their real, trying to be legitimate science group with guys that literally argue over dick jokes. It's like they clearly didn't watch a single YouTube video we've done.
Yeah, obviously, which actually is kind of interesting because when you think about, like, very likely the people that are in charge of this thing, let's be frank, the people that are in charge of this thing, they probably don't fully even know that this happened, right? Andy, you and I were speculating before, that in many cases like this, they hired a designer to do this like brand for them, and that person got stuck one night, started Googling around, found your thing, thought, oh, this is some dumb thing out in the middle of nowhere, USA, and then they just like they're like, I'm gonna repurpose it, I'll change a few things because that'll make it safe, right? If they come back, well, I made it,
Yeah.
a little bit different, and let's take a look at that because it's is it that different? Is it different enough? I don't know. I don't think so,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you put it with the name, and you really are in. I think you're in violation territory for sure. Anyway, they're probably good folks. It looks like they're trying to do. Let's take a look really quick. Actually, we had the website up. Um, there, and it's. I found actually a. This is the Turkish version, and then they have like a hey for English, click here, and it's kind of a fun sort of like don't quite have the English all the way right, but this is just it looks like it's a group of like young people trying to figure out
Right.
how
Yeah.
to get really good motivation and education kind of going in a market. So they're not bad folks, but we want to do bad things to them
Exactly.
because they made a
Right.
terrible mistake. They made a terrible, terrible mistake, and
Yeah.
it's time for
Yeah.
them to pay.
Exactly. We do have some more stuff from the comments here too that I like. Thoughtworth says, Andy, just tell the Turks that you're Greek. Way easier to get them to distance from you.
Okay, now we're getting into
Some
generational,
historical, yeah.
historical conflict, which I think probably a good place to start. I'm Greek, all right?
Done. Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm Greek. Hand it over. And let's see, make a quantum marbles machine. Here we go. Here comes Matthias coming in with the long con, the grift. Make a quantum marbles machine. Let the marble disappear to another dimension and appear back in this dimension a few times. But in the end, the marble disappears and the letter appears. So we're doing sort of a Schrodinger cat kind of a thing, right? Like,
Yeah, I
is
like
the
this.
cease and
Yeah.
desist letter, is the letter in the box or not? Is it alive or dead? You opening the box is going to determine. And so we put that in their hands and be like, hey, look, it's quantum mechanics. And maybe at the end of the day, it's a dead Turkish future scientist, and then we really send that message home.
That
Right?
would definitely send a message for sure.
I think it would be. I think it would. Brianna Matsky, get plastic surgery. Okay, here we go. Get plastic surgery and tattoos so you look exactly like their logo, and then sue them for using your photo without your consent. It could be a little bit easier if we're making it like a personal misuse of somebody's actual likeness. Andy.
Right. Yeah. I like that too because I've always thought there's never a more terrible idea than a full face tattoo.
Yeah. That's a pretty terrible idea.
Always terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there are people, though, that, if you go look on Reddit, I'm sure you can find people who are making themselves look like this somewhere, right? Like somebody's trying to do like a combination of plastic surgery and tattoos. Somewhere right now, maybe in Turkey, actually. Dave on Base 32, Scorched Earth. If we can't have it, no one can. Okay, here we go. Now we're talking. This is a terrible idea.
I like this. Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. Hack the internet. Roll everything back to Telnet circa 1984, where logos on the net aren't a thing. All right, so we're gonna take it away from everybody.
Yeah, I like that where it's no one has logos anymore.
That's right. Yeah, if
Future
you're
Science
take our
can't
logo,
have their logo.
we're going to take everybody's logo away. All right, I like it. And then Matthias says, send the letter through email, but make sure it'll end up in the spam folder. No, that's a pretty simple way to do it.
The other thing we were kind of talking about that we might like to do as far as some Revengdnesday to these guys would be, they are doing live streams for this conference that they are putting on right now.
Okay.
That's how we kind of find out it's their conference. I would love to maybe go from an angle where we as Future Science Cincinnati kind of are like, hey, you guys should let us do a live stream to your conference of educated people. And then we would just get to do like a whatever terrible sketch we can think of.
Yep.
And then the people have to wonder, are these actual scientists from America or are these just some drunk 35-year-old kids.
But let me
doing
do you one
insane-
better. What if you do a long con on that, which is you, again, gain their confidence over years of presentations in these live streams, and you are just simply making little incremental bad science facts, inserting methodologies that are faulty into the stream, and that you undermine Turkish science over decades as part of a long con. Terrible idea.
I love it because it's terrible, and there's just some part of me where, you know, in another 10 years they go like, wow, like somehow Turkey believes that oranges are actually vegetables. We just completely like actually made someone in like an entire generation of Turkish people think that like wrong science.
Yeah, and just
Just
imagine
ruin the
imagine
world.
the gratification you would feel sitting in a bar somewhere, pulling that up on your phone and being like, I did that. I blew biology for Turkey.
We have some more good stuff coming in from the things of Matthias has try to have a dog learn how to read the letter and then send the dog so the dog can narrate the whole lore around our letter.
I love Matthias. I love how Matthias's brain works. That is lateral thinking at its finest. Teach a dog to read and can narrate the lore around the letter. You, Jaco, with email them saying you're a Nigerian prince, and if they stop using your logo, you'll give them $15,000 because it's being held by his father who doesn't want him to marry, right? But all you have to do is stop using your logo, and that will unlock the funds that will be released to you shortly. Well, folks, we've got edit the letter in a Star Wars movie and make it downloaded through torrents, okay, using BitTorrents, and hope the client will download that version of the Star Wars movie, and then on the scroll, right, on the long
I love it.
scroll,
Yeah, exactly.
stop using our logo.
Attention, Future Science Turkey.
Any more as we're hitting the end here, Andy, that you're seeing coming through or that we might have missed?
Join their company on the LinkedIn. Scott, I believe that may already be in the works. We are trying to connect with them via LinkedIn already. Some of the future scientists are already in progress of connecting with them via LinkedIn.
That's awesome. One last one. You, Jaco, said, building off of Matthias's dog. Yeah, don't teach the dog how to talk. Teach them how to press buttons a la Stephen Hawking and kind of get the words out. That actually might use the dogs in a far more effective way to really drive that message home. That would be scary. Stop using my logo. All right. Well, Andy, I hope you have gathered up some interesting ideas that you can take to the team. And maybe you can report back. Maybe we'll have you come back on next week and see if there's any progress in the great saga of the Turkish future science logo heist.
Absolutely. I was going to say this doesn't end here. This is the beginning.
Just the beginning.
Terrible things.
All right. Well, thank you, Andy. We'll catch you on the flip side. And to everybody else, thanks for coming in this morning. I hope you have a great day. This is always a really great way to start my day, and I'm glad to have you be a part of it. We're going to rev our engines every morning on Imagivate Live. So come back tomorrow. We've got Thursday Night Thinkubator. We've got other stuff that's going to round us out into the end of the week. Until then, Imagivate ho!
Greatest What is the vastness? Hollow vacuum, check the oxygen tanks. They hibernate, but have they kissed the ground? Pucker up and kiss the asphalt now. Taste this amputations, lented larynx, it has access now.